In all the hustle and bustle of life, have you ever stopped to think, why am I here? Like, what have I been born to do? Well, here's something to remember. You've not been born simply to pay bills, work a job you don't love, and be miserable. Now, back in 2014, when I was a newly qualified doctor, I remember one particular night shift. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, pitch black outside, and I was walking the empty corridors heading towards one of the medical wards. I stopped at a large window and stared outside for a few minutes and thought, there has to be more to life than this. The problem was, I had no idea what it was. A few years on, I came across a great Japanese word. It's called Ikigai. It roughly translates to your reason to be, or that which gives your life purpose. So let's dive into today's learning. Okay, Jazz, Ikigai is a nice word, but what does it really mean? Well, it's broken down into 4 key areas, and those are: number 1, what do you love? What fills you with joy? What are the things you would happily do for free? Number 2, what does the world need? Remember, the secret to living is growing and giving. Now, what does the world need doesn't mean you have to solve the world's biggest problems like climate change or impact millions of lives. To me, it means in my life, right now, in my day-to-day, how can I help someone by using the skills I have? And number 1, what we just looked at, what do I love? Using that. Number 3, what am I good at? Remember in the happiness formula video when I talked about being in a flow state? Guys, if you've not checked out that video, please do. It's super awesome. The question is asking, what things can you do easily or with little effort? But here's the funny thing, it's actually quite hard to know these things about yourself, but other people will normally point them out and say things like, you make that look so easy, or can you teach me how to do this? Number 4, what can I be paid for? This means deep diving and seeing what is available right now for the skills or interests you have, or something close enough. For example, my current role as a doctor did not exist when I started working in my current hospital, but over time I created and developed a niche which combined all the aspects of being a doctor that I liked. So now I get paid to do what I love. That's what I call a win-win. Remember, ultimately you're paid for the value you add to the system. So focus on increasing your value. Wouldn't it be great if there was a book that explored this concept even more? Well, what do you know? There is such a book, and unsurprisingly, it's called Ikigai. The 2 authors set out to answer the following question. What factors contribute to leading a long and meaningful life? Note there are 2 parts to the question. It's not just about living longer. It's about living a longer and more fulfilled life, or what I teach my clients, which is how to live an authentic life on their terms. So the authors traveled to the island of Okinawa, Japan, which for me makes me think of Karate Kid 2 as the island Mr. Miyagi is from. So why Okinawa? Well, it's been dubbed one of the 5 blue zones of the world, or longevity spots, places with the highest concentration of centurions, people over the age of 100, in the world. So the authors lived with the locals, studied them, conducted many interviews, and here are the 3 big takeaways for me for living a longer, happier life. Number 1, never retire. In the West, we are all obsessed about retirement planning and saying things like, I can't wait to retire so I can do nothing. Guys, doing nothing is the fastest route to mental and physical decline. Continue as long as you live to do something meaningful each day. However small that may be, just be intentional with each day. Number 2, eat fresh food. During lockdown, like many people, we found ourselves spending more and more time in the garden, and we found a new hobby of growing our own vegetables. There is a real personal sense of achievement when you plant, water, and harvest your own crop. Number 3, surround yourself with good friends. It's like the old expression, friends are the best medicine for living. We are social beings and we crave social interaction. Again, during lockdown, social isolation was a huge factor in the rise of mental health disease. And even those crazy working in a hospital during the pandemic, seeing people every day, staff, patients, and other key workers, it kept up our morale. We had a real sense of being in this together. So what can we take away from this? Well, the secrets to living longer and happier are not complicated formulas, and you don't have to be a millionaire. There are simple and wholly accessible things, but like most things in life, you just need to stick at them and you'll reap the rewards over time. Here's my challenge to you. Grab a piece of paper and make a table of 4 quadrants and start to make a list under each of the 4 questions that make up your Ikigai. Then ask yourself the question, what steps can I take today to start moving towards my Ikigai? Guys, I want to hear from all of you, so comment below on what you discover about yourself. As always, I'll leave you with my mantra, have more, do more, be more. Be sure to subscribe, share and like. Send this to one person who needs to hear this message, and I'll see you in the next video.